Welcome, everybody. This is the RSN podcast. We're discussing today our review, our thoughts on the recent Beast from the East pay-per-view done, I believe it was yesterday, July 4th.
Yeah, you can say it was yesterday.
July 4th, and on a momentous day it was, on Independence Day, which was really crazy. So there were 5 matches, I think 5 matches, right? 5 matches altogether.
5 matches, yes.
5 matches. 5 matches in Japan in the legendary Sumo Hall. There's a lot of history in that place, I heard.
Yes, there's been a lot.
I heard that recently they had I think they weren't there since the 90s, I think. It was a really long gap.
If I'm correct, I believe it was 93 was the last time they were there.
Mm-hmm. That's like how many years? Almost 12 years, right? A 12-year gap. I think the event was, what was it?
To be honest, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either, but hold up. It says something about how, I think it was one of those, you know how WWE back in the day had Insurrection pay-per-view, they had Rebellion.
Yeah,
they had all these
the foreign pay-per-views.
Yeah, in the UK and all that, and they were exclusively to the UK. I mean, this was like one of those events, you know? It was crazy, though, to see that kind of, the stuff.
But it was the first show to be broadcast in America at the exact time it was happening.
Mm-hmm. And it was live. Yeah, that's another thing. That's what really added something to it. It was a live event. It was taking place live in time. It wasn't on tape delay. It wasn't on anything else. This is like a once in a while thing. Like you never seen it before. Like you've seen
It's considered a pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was a big pay-per-view too. I mean, I think WWE should do more of these events too. You know. As one, they're promoting the network. That's one big thing, you know. Plus, they're bringing more content there, so it's good for them.
So cute.
I also have a feeling that they did this to try and recruit more talent.
Probably more talent, also to get more fans. Also, because if you've seen, it was all it was like in the fans, over there, they were mostly it was mostly Japanese, but in the crowd you saw a couple of glimmers of American fans, Canadian fans, people from all around the world. It wasn't just Asian fans; it was everybody. It was a very exclusive event too. I heard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, 5 matches.
Well, the only thing different about this podcast, guys, is Nick is not here to do this due to the fact he did his own review a few hours after the show, which you could check out on his website, ProWrestlingOpinion.com.
He has his whole column where he discusses what he felt and what his thoughts were. We just want to go ahead and add up on.
He also did results and kind of like a major play-by-play throughout each match.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're going to do something similar. We're just going to basically go through some of the highlights of most of the matches. I mean, there were 5 matches on the card. It was a pretty big event. You saw a lot of different things happen. Started at 5:30 in the morning?
Yes.
Very early in the morning. I mean, either way, if you couldn't watch it live, you could watch it later on, after it aired.
I watched it at 7 in the morning.
I watched it a little bit later. I couldn't. I got school work, I couldn't at all. But it was pretty exciting, though, to see that,
The only negative thing, it was a short show. It was an hour and a half, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And I think the way that they structured it, they could have added some other matches, I mean, they ended up the show.
There was also 2 dark matches.
Yeah, I mean, they started off with Jericho and
The first
Neville,
match was amazing, though.
Yeah, that was a beautiful match. The way that they did that,
there was a lot of good spots.
Yeah, and you seen the way that the fans were reacting to Jericho. They were, giving them some respect.
International fans love Jericho.
They love Jericho. I mean, he was in Japan for a couple of years earlier in his career.
Prior to ECW.
Long time. He was a big name back in the day. I mean, when you seen him, he was putting butts in seats. He was a very innovative guy.
Well, everyone knows Neville started in Japan as Pac.
Really?
Yes.
I never knew that.
Prior to Ring of Honor, prior to like his big names, like big time show.
Yep.
He was in Japan along with a few other names that people also know. But he started in Japan.
Japan, really? I never knew that. I mean, it's crazy the way that I think most of these talents, most of the talents on the card, started in Japan in some way, shape, or form, or I think that's the reason why they did that. But I mean, this match, Jericho and Neville went it was very, very short paced match. It was very fast paced. Very, very good match. It was entertaining to see.
Very, very great spots in this match too.
Mm-hmm. You saw Jericho. I mean, especially Jericho coming back after a long time on the network. That's another thing. I mean, I heard that he had dates for
we also have to think he also wrestled the previous day against Finn Balor.
Yeah. He wrestled previous dates. It's not like he walked in one night and that's it. Just did one show.
It was his second show in Japan because he wrestled July 3rd against Finn Balor. But that match was actually supposed to be on Beast in the East. But they pushed the Jericho Balor match to July 3rd to have Balor fight for the title. And
they couldn't accommodate that. They wanted something different.
But if you think about it, that match probably was amazing also.
True. I mean, there's another thing too. I mean, most if you've seen the way that they had structured originally, they had this structure weeks back. They were thinking about having a Tommy going there too.
If he wasn't injured
for the title, had he not been injured, then it would have been good. I
heard it was supposed to be a triple threat. It was
supposed
to be Owens, Balor, Tommy.
Yes, they said there was going to be a big triple threat. Well, all three of them
would have been the main event.
And they said they were going to have some kind of hometown thing where, I mean, Finn won, but they said that was pretty good. It brought that hometown feel to it, too. But it wasn't as big because then you saw, Tommy and stuff. But, I mean,
in your opinion, what was the highlight of the match?
Of the Jericho Neville?
Yeah. In your opinion, what was your highlight of the match?
I think Neville, and in my opinion, I'll tell you right now, I think it was a great match overall. But I think if you look at each individual's performance, I think Jericho did much better. But Neville, he kind of fucked up a little bit because he kept doing the same maneuvers over and over, and it kind of looked like it looks repetitive.
Like my highlight, I have two highlights of the match. The first highlight was when Jericho hit the code breaker while Neville was in midair.
That was dope. That was crazy.
And then my second was the finish of the match when Neville hit Red Arrow, but Jericho reversed it into the Walls of Jericho.
Yeah. It was very charismatic, though. I mean, to see that. But, I mean, I think, and you can see it backstage probably, that they weren't happy with what Neville did. They looked at it and said, he could have done much better. But
we just have to think. Neville has been wrestling for a few months straight. Very little does he get a day off. So you can't really blame it on Neville for having a couple botches. It's WWE for not giving him a rest day.
Hell yeah. I mean, the way that they put it, they had him, I mean, he's in the main roster. And another thing, the way that he's being booked, they're trying to have him probably be a Mighty Mouse character, which that I don't think a lot of people like.
When everyone heard that they were doing that, they were against it.
They were completely against it. They didn't like it one bit. I mean, it's kind of sad to see that, but I mean, the way that overall, I think it was a good time. It was good for all these talents that actually came to today's, this event. They actually had a chance to shine, and they got some exposure. And this is a perfect time to get some exposure. So hopefully it'll pay off in the future, but we'll have to see for now. Next match, Divas champ Nikki Bella versus Paige versus Tamina. Tamina was originally not in the match. It was
supposed to be Naomi.
It was supposed to be Naomi, yes.
But she got, quote unquote, jumped in the back by the Bellas and Alicia Fox.
I think it was during a SmackDown taping, and then that's why they changed it. But do you think that there's going to be a push for her, for Tamina?
If she breaks away from Naomi, yes.
But I don't see them having a breakaway from it. I think that like if we see the way that they're booking it, they're trying to book it as Bellas are outnumbering everybody.
And they're booking her as a bodyguard, Tamina.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know she's talented. Yeah. We all know Tamina is very talented.
Yep. I mean, this is another big highlight. This Divas Championship match is a history-making match, too, because they had one similar in the 90s with Lundra Blaze. And a big name in Japan. Then there was a big title defense, and there was a big title change. And what happened? She won, and it was a big thing. It was a big deal. They were hoping to have this become something big, too. But at the end of the day, what ended up happening, there's some good spots here and there. But I think the whole give the Divas a chance, this really shined over here, too, because it really brought something.
I personally think Paige deserves the title. I'm not just saying that because I love Paige. I'm saying it because she is the most talented diva on the roster.
I agree. I mean, she's one of the youngest too. She's like 21. She's 22.
She's 22.
Something like that. 22. That's pretty, big accomplishment. At 22, you're doing this for a living. Imagine.
She's the youngest Divas champion ever at 21.
Indeed. I mean, I think if they did give her a title shot, she still has to do tough enough. How is she going to do that,
That's true.
But, I mean, we'll have to see. The way that they're booking her,
I'm waiting for Battlegrounds because they said there's going to be a mystery partner for Paige against the Bellas.
NXT.
I want to see who it is.
NXT, they're probably going to bring up someone. We'll see. But, I mean...
the one who I actually want can't do it because she's sidelined right now. I want Becky Lynch. But she's sidelined with a legitimate injury, not a
fake, just storyline write-off.
She's legitimately injured.
Really. But it's crazy. I mean, there's a lot of talent in NXT. We'll have to see.
So it's probably going to be Sasha Banks.
I mean, think about this. What if AJ had stayed? Do you think it would have been the same kind of picture?
No, I think it would have been the past few months would have been written differently.
True. I think it's the way that they're doing it. They're kind of like, it's a written of urgency. Like, they're thinking about what ideas they should do, but they don't know yet. So they just keep stalling it to win bullshit matches.
But it's like what me and you said at work a few days ago, I believe. When Punk left, they had to rewrite 5 months.
Yeah, a lot of different. They had to write down the whole thing, and it changed their whole plans. I think we see the same thing with the Divas division too, because AJ was supposed to be their head person. She was supposed to be the face.
Well, she was supposed. Naomi's heel turn was actually supposed to be for AJ.
To be that's said that it was a sudden decision to do that. But I think she deserved it at least, But the way that they booked her, they making her the heel, change her character. It was, it was about time because if you've seen it, one of the Usos got injured. It was it was a perfect time for that. But, for AJ to leave, I think they could have, they kind of dropped the ball on that.
They did.
Yep. But, I mean, we'd have to see what's going to happen in the future. Hopefully when an NXT Diva comes up, they'll see what they do.
Supposed to be Charlotte a month ago, but see how that went.
They've been saying that for a while. Charlotte's going to be the next one to come up, but they didn't. And who knows when they're going to do it.
It's probably going to be Sasha.
I feel like it's going to be after SummerSlam when Charlotte comes back on the roster.
Well, we all know Battlegrounds is going to be a call-up. Who?
I feel like
we don't know.
We don't know yet at all. All right, so the next match. I believe this should have been This is the match everyone was waiting for. Indeed. This is the match where everyone said, he's got no chance. He's got no chance at all.
Everyone thought it was going to be a complete murder.
Yes, it was. Brock and Kofi Kingston.
Well, if you look on the Wikipedia page for Beast in the East, every other match has defeated. Match number 5, Brock Lesnar murdered Kofi Kingston.
Not only that, he tore up freaking New Day. New Day. Killed him.
By the way, for anyone listening, the funeral for the New Day is at 9:00 on the WWE Network.
From when did it start? 2013, 2014 to 2015. 1 year later, R.I.P. Too bad. But this match, it was a straight up mauling. It was a.
There's no words to describe it. It's just Brock being Brock.
I think they just did this just to show how big Brock was going to be. Even though he already is, everybody knows that he's big. Everybody knows that he's dangerous. This is just to go ahead and add a little bit of icing on the cake.
This was his first match in WWE since WrestleMania 31. His first match in Japan since 2006.
He's been there almost a decade? Almost.
A little less than 10 years. He hasn't been in Japan.
Almost 11 years. Yeah, first house show in almost 11 years. That's crazy.
And his first Japan show in 9 years.
Does Kofi Kingston have any history with Japan?
I have no idea, but Kofi just got murdered.
Yeah, because think about what I don't understand is why have him against Brock? Why?
Well, if you remember all the kayfabe news, house shows when Brock was champ, everyone said Kofi beat Brock for the champ. Kofi beat Brock. WWE listened, and they said, hey, let's make the fans happy and do the match that everyone jokes around with.
True. I think there's probably another motivation too. Maybe because, the New Day, they're being booked as annoying and, kind of
you have the Beast Incarnate destroy them.
Yep. I mean, I feel like I know something's going to happen with Bo Dallas too. The way that they're having it, Bo
so
Dallas.
So you think they're going to have him be Owen Hart in the Nation of Domination?
Most likely. They'll probably have
the random white guy in the group?
Random white guy. That's related to Bray Wyatt, nonetheless. So, something's going on there, hint, hint. But we'll have to see. All
right. So the next match, John Cena and Dolph Ziggler versus Kane and King Barrett.
Oh no! It was actually. Oh wait,
no, I'm skipping that one match because that was the best match. So that's gonna be ending our podcast.
No, really. I thought it was the title match that ended it, didn't it?
No, Balor versus Owens was right before the tag team match.
To me, that makes no sense. It's like
we're ending this podcast how the show should have ended.
Yes, we are.
So the next match is Cena and Ziggler versus Kane and Barrett.
Fuck the card. Whatever the card. If you see on the website that this is the card, fuck the card. That's not the official card. Fuck it. In our eyes, that should have ended the match. NXT Championship match should have ended everything. It should have ended the whole show. That's it. Hands down. That's it.
But that tag team match was horrible.
The tag team match, I don't know why. That was like a last-minute decision. They just said, okay, let's just
throw them in.
Yeah, let's just throw them into one corner, and that's it. They could use that match for NXT talent. They could use it for something else. But
you think about it, 3 of the 4 are actually not in any storylines.
Indeed. They just used 4 people that were just, laying down, that were having any kind of, that don't have any involvement on TV.
Cena is in a storyline with Owens.
Mm-hmm.
Ziggler is in a storyline with someone who's injured. Who knows when he's coming back?
Probably Summer Rae and Lana. They're probably gonna have something there.
Kane is just Kane.
Shouldn't he be just being in Hawaii supposedly?
He's just
vacation.
He's just there.
He's just there just for the fuck of it. And then Barrett.
King Barrett's feuding with friggin' R-Truth. Whoa.
They could have had something where they overlapped it. But this is more like a live event stuff. Where live event, they can actually do that. They can actually have some flexibility in what they do. They don't actually have to bring up anything with storyline. They just have a regular wrestling match. Just for fun.
All right. So, on to the actual main event.
Oh, we just skipped this one? We're not even talking about it?
So, on to the actual main event.
Fuck that match. That's true. This is the only match.
Mr. Wrestling, Kevin Owens, against the Demon, Finn Balor.
The Demon. See that? The Demon. What I liked about it was the documentary that they had on NXT and on
3 parts
WWE Network. Those 3 parts it was pretty big. It was really, really,
Because I didn't even know he opened his own dojo. I didn't know
he was a teacher. I didn't know that he went to the dojo. I never knew any of this. All I heard was Prince Devitt. I heard that he was, Irish, this, that. That's all.
He trained Becky Lynch. I didn't know that.
At 17, that was another thing. That's pretty.
She was 15. She lied and said she was 17.
Right. She lied about it.
Because she thought if she said she was 15, he would have asked for ID. 16, she thought he would have asked for ID. So she just said, you know what? Screw it. 17.
And he was just laughing. He was like, "Wow, that's crazy."
He found out 10 years later.
And he just looked at. He's like, "What the fuck? I just fucked up." But had she said, had she told the truth, she wouldn't be here. So
she wouldn't be as big as she is.
She wouldn't be as big as she is, indeed. But I mean, this
match is actually special because they both wrestled in Japan.
They both had some really good connections because you've seen the way that they brought him up here in this match. It was crazy because they started integrating that Japanese culture. Because you saw in the beginning of the match with the flowers. Yeah, as the main event. It was like a tradition there. Streamers, indeed. That kind of brought up ROH. How ROH does it, they go ahead and they do that whenever they know something big is going to happen. But that kind of brought something back. This was kind of like a deja vu. Like if it was a real, like a wrestling, like a legit wrestling fan, they see this, they know about ROH, they have knowledge of WWE, they've been watching for years. They see this, they're gonna have a little deja vu because they're gonna think, is this really WWE or is this Indies? Like at some point, I was thinking, wait, is this the Indies or like? I was like, wait, I think this is, and then I just looked back. I said, this is surreal.
This is NXT.
This is surreal. This is like, it was surreal. It was like, it's good for both of them. Because you saw them, they're at this big stage, they're in the WWE.
But they let Owens be the perfect heel, being the fact when he received the flowers, he just threw them.
That was beautiful. That was like, come on, man. And then everybody just, they actually brought some connection to the fans because fans were like, come on, man, that's fucked up.
They're like, come on, that's disrespecting our culture.
I think at the end, too.
But
indeed,
it was great.
Yeah, I mean, throughout the match, you saw some really good spots.
But if you realize there's one thing about the match that not a lot of people probably realized. He's never hit a power bomb.
Now, he was about to. Remember, he was about to, and then I think, the
Baylor jumped over him.
Biggest count. He did I think that was the first time anyone powerbomb, the pickup powerbomb. He never, there was no one ever that countered that, but he did that, and that was pretty crazy, That was the first.
But he never actually hit it though in the match.
Yeah, he never actually
first time in Owens' career, he never hit the powerbomb. If
you see the way that he's been booked for the past few weeks, they made him look strong in the beginning, and now he's trying to recede.
Because everyone knows he was going to lose the title, and he's going to win the U.S. title. So they make him not seem as strong as he actually is. Make him seem like he's human.
True. I mean, let me ask you this. Since we're almost ending it up, I'll ask you this. Do you think they're going to have a rematch?
Who, Owens and
Balor? Yeah.
No, because I think that was his final involvement in NXT.
No, I think there's probably going to be another match for sure. Because the way that they have it was pretty entertaining.
That's the thing. I don't think so. They might keep Owens in NXT to finish his feud with Joe. Because I think they're going to have Balor start feuding with Rhino.
True. I mean, how would
then they're going to do with Tommy when he comes back.
Yeah, but what's next for? I mean, you saw that a little bit. You saw some of the what you call the puzzle pieces coming together now. You started seeing a little bit, but we don't know if it's actually going to snap in place because you see, like with Joe, what's next for him? Because you were right, but to that degree about Owens, and he's going to finish up his feud with Joe because that's reasonable. I think if WWE takes that route, that's probably best for them. Because it's logical. Why would they, just have him go straight up to the main roster? Because think about this.
In the middle of a feud, nevertheless.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to happen on Monday? Tomorrow night. What's going to happen? This is Raw. This is, what you call it, right after the Beast from the East,
this is somewhat the kind of go home to before Battleground, even though there's one more week.
It is. It definitely is. I think I agree. I mean, this is pretty smart of them because they're trying to use this and say, okay, what's next for Owens?
But you know how you were able to predict almost every week? Mm-hmm. WWE is mind fucking you right now.
True. They're saying what's going to happen now. Now they're saying, okay, now
they
it's
actually have only they know what's happening. They're having the fan think, okay, Owens lost the title, but he's still in 2 feuds in NXT, but he also has the Cena feud. So now it's actually making people think, what are they going to do?
It's kind of interesting now. As the years gone by, WWE has become more in tune with their audience. They know what is going to happen. They know that they're smart. They're
actually listening too.
They actually, yeah, they're seeing it now. I mean, it's crazy, but
Only
I mean,
took
like
them
this.
only took them about 7 years.
True, about 7 years just to do that. I think it was after around the time CM Punk came in 2011. That's when they started going downhill, and then they started taking a step back, saying, "Wait, what do we do now? Let's do this, let's do that." And now they're starting to become something big. I mean, especially with this pay-per-view, this event, it featured NXT talent and WWE talent. It was pretty interesting to see
I
how that
personally
happened.
think they should do this at least once a year now.
What I think, I agree. I mean, what
I
they
think
should
they
do.
should try and do this at least once a year in Japan.
What I think, yeah, I mean, not just Japan, everywhere. I mean, they could do this in like UK. They could do this in Canada. They could do this in,
Well, they always
like
are. They're in Canada a lot though, because you think that's right here. It's not that far of a travel. People
in
can
my
still
mind.
wake up. People can still wake up at a regular time and watch shows in Canada. Over
True.
here, you have to wake up at 5:30 to watch this.
Mm-hmm. But I think if you see, like in my eyes, I think this whole event right here, the Beast from the East, this legitimized WWE. Literally, it did. Like from a business standpoint, because what they're doing is they're putting a stamp on the world. They're saying, like, you know how they used to say, "Oh, we're a global phenomenon."
This
This
actually
is
proves
them.
it.
This actually is proof of it. Because back then, you know how some people, like me personally, I've never been to a WWE event ever.
I've
Like
been
when
to
I
a
used to,
few.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, like from hearing from someone, you know, if you've never been to an event and you only see it on TV,
It's different.
it's totally different, right? I know you probably. I mean, how does it feel over there? You know, actually in the crowd. You know, regardless
Well,
whether it's nosebleed seats or right in the front.
the best show I've been to was October 16th, 2014, also known as the night The Rock shows up out of nowhere, and no exaggeration, the roof blew off the fucking building when he walked out.
You can hear all the way from Flatbush Avenue.
You could hear it from Sheep's Edge.
That's crazy. It was ridiculous. I could hear it from here. It was a night to remember.
Because you probably watched it on TV that night, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You did not get the full effect.
That's what I'm
on
saying.
TV.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying because you know this kind of adds a different element to it, to entertainment. They you know they said we're a global phenomenon. We offer entertainment. This is something that's more bigger. Because think about this. I mean it's kind of surreal. Like if you just take a step back and think, this special was in Tokyo in Japan, right?
Yeah.
So the next special, which is going to be in Brooklyn in the Barclays Center, how is that?
The whole weekend. The whole weekend.
That's crazy. 1 month. So 1 month they were in Japan. Next month they're in Brooklyn. I mean, it's kind of crazy now. Now they literally are a global phenomenon.
Because you think they have NXT at the Barclays Center on August 18th, 22nd, sorry.
Yep.
SummerSlam at the Barclays Center, the 23rd.
And then
the Raw after the 23rd. So it's the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
WWE is taking over the Barclays Center. Literally, that's what happened right there.
But I'm not gonna lie though, I actually wish it was at the Manhattan Center, just to get an old school vibe.
True, I agree. It should like you know. I mean, Barclays is kind of a big venue because the way that they have it, it's a pretty big venue. I mean, this shows a message.
You think about it, NXT is big, but it's not big enough for the Barclays Center yet.
I mean, if you think about it,
there's going to be a lot of open seats. There's going to be a lot of open area.
I don't, you know, how are they going to book that? You know, I mean, them getting that big of a venue, that's pretty, you know, that's a big step for them because they have to fill all those seats.
You know, that's their biggest. That's the biggest place they performed so far.
True. I mean, if you see this has almost been almost a year.
It's been over a year that NXT has been out.
Yeah. Over a year since NXT's been out. Second, this is over a year since they've had these NXT takeover.
Well, NXT has been out for about 3 years now. They just started getting televised
on the network,
right before WrestleMania 30.
True. I mean, like you know, this is probably a sign saying WWE is gonna go harder and harder now. They're not going into small venues like Manhattan Center or you know the ECW, you know Hammerstein Ballroom. They're going to bigger venues now.
Although,
so, you know,
although you gotta admit that would be cool to do, like a little show there, just to get to feel back like you're in 1993, 1994 at Monday Night Raw with the sirens.
Indeed. I mean, it's kind of it adds a different element to it. I mean, you know, but you know, at the end of the day, they're still trying to make money. So the more seats they fill, the more money for them. So I think that's pretty good.
NXT's gonna get a lot of ticket sales because everyone loves their talent.
They'll get sold out quick, 1, 2, 3. But I mean, especially this event. I'm glad that they didn't make this a takeover event. They made it into a WWE event. Also, they crossed over into it. This is like a first ever. Like, you know how WWE back in the day had Raw and SmackDown, and they only had like either
the interbrand shows.
Yeah, where they had where the big like the big pay-per-views back in the day. Like I'm talking about 2002 to 2004.
Survivor Series.
Like Survivor
Team
Series,
Raw,
SummerSlam.
Team Raw versus Team SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, no, if you've seen all these big pay-per-views like SummerSlam, WrestleMania, they're all interbrand pay-per-views. But the rest of the pay-per-views like Armageddon, No Way Out, those are exclusive to Raw and SmackDown.
One was a SmackDown pay-per-view, one was a Raw pay-per-view.
Yeah, I mean this is the kind of format that they're having now. But if you see right now, like this event, this was the first time where they actually had NXT and WWE talent on one pay-per-view.
Well, since you brought up the Raw SmackDown thing, should they bring back the draft?
I agree they should, especially now.
Should.
I mean, they have NXT now. Yeah, I mean, they have NXT. They can definitely do something like that. Have a storylines, of people being brought up.
Certain SmackDown guys, only certain NXT guys.
Yeah.
On SmackDown, certain on Raw.
I mean, there's
a lot of stuff they could work with.
True.
They just don't want to.
I mean, yeah. I think they should do more international events, like to the different countries. But like, I mean, this is pretty, a pretty big deal that they did. And from what I heard, they were very happy with it. They're very happy with what happened. The press that they got.
They were happy for the outcome.
They're happy for the exposure that they got. I mean, now they got international exposure. So you could be seeing them in India, in China, in Russia. You can see them in UK. You can see them in Ireland. You can see them in Africa, maybe anywhere. You can see them probably anywhere around the world. Now they're literally a global.
Anywhere that you have access to get the WWE app, basically.
Basically, they're just trying to make it more accessible. Plus, that's a better way of connecting everybody. More fans, more international community, more of a connection with everybody.
Since we're talking about the network, do you think they're going to bring everything only to the network, like Raw and SmackDown?
I feel like eventually, but not now. Because it's too early
sometime in the future?
I think sometime in the future. Not in the near future, but I'd say 5 to 7 years down the road.
And they're not going to do the free months. You're actually going to have to pay every month.
No, I doubt it. They're not going to do the 3 months, I think, because when they have Raw on, it's a big thing. It's a big deal. So why would they, make it free? Why would
they lose money?
And especially from cable. Cable companies are going to get pissed. They'll be like, what the fuck? NBC Universal, they're a big main company, is going to get very angry about that.
Yep.
I know, it's crazy. Wait. So this is going to be the end of our podcast. This is the Beast from the East, the review, highlights. This is basically what we thought, basically about how we think about how it's going to change everything from here on. And this was really a game changer. This was a good pay-per-view. What would you rate it from a 3? I mean, out of a 5 scale?
I give it a 5.
5 out of 5?
Yeah, this was spectacular. The only negative thing was the main event.
I think the structure was probably messed up.
It should have never been the main event.
I think this would have been 4. The reason I say 4 is because it would have been 2.5 in my mind had it not been for the NXT Championship match. But that's right now. I give it a 4 straight up, because 4 the whole event, it didn't. One, it was booked improperly. Second, they kind of messed up with the way that they had all the talent. They had unused talent. They had people. They had no real motivation.
They also could have used more people with connections to the Japanese culture.
Indeed. I mean, they should have, they tried to, but I think they could have done a better job at it. But, again, we'll have to see, what they do next time, the next international event. So this is RSN. We're signing off. Be sure to check out PWO. Read up on Nick's column about what he think about the pay-per-view, what he saw about it. It's on Pro Wrestling Opinion.
Because basically, all 3 of us did do a review.
Yes, we did.
1 was written, 2 are verbal.
And I think either way, reading is pretty good, like Nick said.
Reading is fundamental, but reading about wrestling tops the chart.
Indeed, it does. For Pro Wrestling Opinion, check out the YouTube page. Also, check out the Google Plus page. Also, see on ProWrestlingOpinion.com, the website. And please be sure to like both our pages.
If you guys want to give us any topics to cover, like any best or worst, just let one of us know on a comment, write to us, and maybe we'll discuss your topic in the near future.
Indeed. And we'll see you then. Peace out.
See you guys.